Forge of the High Mage is the fourth book in the Paths to Ascendancy series, and it delivers everything one has come to expect from Steven Erikson's and Ian C. Esselmont's co-created world of Malaz. Epic sights and battles, a dizzying amount of characters strewn upon a vast landscape, and a convergence of seemingly disconnected powers. The front and center protagonists are Emperor Kellanved and his fleet, a detachment of Malazan foot soldiers, a priestess trying to escape her order, shipwrecked mercenaries, a squad of Crimson Guard, and a tribe of shapeshifters. As another Malazan invasion commences and lines are drawn in the sand, an artifact of an elder reptilian race awakens and threatens to destroy them all. The priestess Gianna and Tayshran the High Mage, hence the title, receive the most character work, but the protagonists allocated to supporting roles still get their moments in the spotlight. Dujek is great no matter if it's Esselmont or Erikson writing him, the scenes with Kellanved are a hoot, and Dancer has a brief, humanizing encounter. The tertiary characters tend to blend together, but I found that to be the case in all the Malaz books, not just this one. Characters on both sides of the conflict scheme, backstab, and undermine their own people, but there are also those who will stand to the death and grieve when life is lost. They recognize admirable traits in their adversaries and extend respect and honor as best they can. Retaining morals is hard to do within the shades of gray that compose the world, and the characters that strive to do so preserve hope where despair and futility would otherwise reign. The world of Malaz is dark, gritty, and often brutal, but it's filled with mystery, spectacle, and magic old and new. The world feels like the main character, and its inhabitants are the lens, albeit a very important lens, through which you witness its great arc. It gives up its secrets grudgingly, and when you think you understand its depths, you realize you've only scratched the surface. It leaves you completely baffled, and yet hungry for more. Forge of the High Mage isn't as dark or gruesome as the main series, and it has an adventure quest atmosphere rather than a warfare one. Sexual content is basically non-existent. Swearing is sparse, but the F word is used when it pops up, and reading real-world profanities within such a dense, complex fantasy feels clunky and out of place. Except for the F-bombs, none of these things are negatives, but they do drift the book into Malaz light territory. The middle of the book suffers from pacing issues. Characters go back and forth between the same locations, or they leave a location only to return to it later, and it feels like an artificial way to extend the word count rather than necessary additions to the plot. If you're sensitive to the subject matter in military fantasy, or don't enjoy using a spreadsheet to keep characters, locations, and the magic system straight, I don't recommend Forge of the High Mage or any of its predecessors. If neither of those things bother you, I recommend beginning with the book that started it all, Guardians of the Moon by Steven Erikson. If you're curious but not feeling very brave, I was only half joking about that spreadsheet, you could start with Dancer's Lament, which is book 1 in the Paths to Ascendancy. The series is less dense than the main titles, and therefore a little more accessible, but be aware that it is a prequel series. Those who are familiar with the world of Malaz will enjoy Forge of the High Mage. It's not one of the highest tiered entries, but it's a solid venture that proves the intricate world is worth the continued investment.